Welcome to the Post Up. This is your new weekly NBA show from the GoldBoys Sports Network, where three friends will cover everything from the association. This episode, we're going to talk about the play-in games, Rudy Gobert being a fucking thug, Zion being a bitch, and we're going to give our predictions for the rest of this playoffs. Boys, Dolan in particular, how we doing, dude? What's going on, man? How's baseball? You've been killing baseball bets lately. How's that, dude?
Yeah, baseball's been absolutely incredible, but that's not why we're here. So
no, it's not.
We're gonna make a quick switcheroo and just go right back to basketball. I'm excited, man. We got the play-in. We got a few play-in games. One of the biggest keys here is, especially with NBA, one of the main things that comes to mind is last season, how bad the postseason was. In my head is there were so many blowout games. Yep. We just had 4 games and all 4 of them were pretty damn competitive. I'm excited about that.
Yeah. A couple of them didn't start that way, but almost all of them ended fucking electric. Dylan, how do you feel about not playing the Heat first round of the playoffs, dude?
I'm a big fan. Greetings, everyone. I mentioned it before. I wanted the Hawks, so I'm definitely down for it. So I'm not going to get too excited and say sweep, but gentlemen sweep.
We'll dive into our predictions of what we feel like is going to be going on. Before we do that, before we even talk about the play-in, let's talk about last day of the season. Don't need to go through any games. A lot of stuff went on, but big news from the weekend. First one, not talked about as much. Plumlee and Bones Highland kind of get into it on the sidelines. Couple in teammate fights. That's been interesting. Not as bad though as Rudy Gobert throwing legit bones at Kyle Anderson. Did you guys? I actually truly do not know why this started. Do either of you know why this whole thing went down or no?
So according to Woj, it's I think Anderson said, go grab a rebound, or no, he said go block a shot. Gobert said go grab a rebound, and Anderson said fuck you bitch or something like that. So he threw knuckles, man. Last day of the season,
that's what I heard. Yeah,
82nd game of the season, and then sure enough, a couple more knuckles are thrown at a fucking concrete wall by their best defender.
Yeah,
not long after Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah,
brother and twin, I believe, of Sixer legend Jalen McDaniels.
Yeah, he's been a Sixer for a day.
Yeah, that's right. I actually don't know his time frame off the top of my head, but he's going to miss significant time, and they could have used him last game, obviously, and they could use him for all of this, man. This is all one big mess, but regardless of anything, here they are. They're
before we jump into the games and everything, this Rudy Gobert, he got obviously we'll dive into it in a second. Got suspended for one game, that play-in game against the Lakers. Maybe more, possibly more.
Yeah,
he's not set to play tomorrow. I'm sorry, he's not guaranteed to play tomorrow.
Yeah.
We don't know yet. He's uncertain. I'm sorry. That's just the best word. That's the only word I needed to say. He's uncertain for tomorrow.
He's come out and he said that I probably wouldn't have played because I have back spasms. No, you punk ass. You threw a. Do you not know what I'm talking about? Though
I actually didn't hear him say that.
Rudy Gobert has come out. This is a fact. I did read this one that Rudy Gobert came out and said I might not have played this game anyway because I do have a little bit of back spasms here. No, you don't. No, you threw bones and you embarrassed the team. This is a bad look. I'm not gonna. We got another guy we're gonna go hard on in a little bit, but I'm not gonna be killing Rudy Gobert here. But this is a pretty bad look, right, Dylan? Think about what the Timberwolves gave up to get this guy, and in the last game of the season, the most unnecessary fashion possible, he's throwing bones at one of his teammates. Apparently, a pretty liked. Kyle Anderson, by all reports, is pretty much a liked guy throughout that locker room, and Gobert. I don't know if he's the face or if it's Ant or if it's Cat, but
definitely not Gobert.
It's
definitely
it's not Gobert, but he's one of the he's one of the three that's there, and they spent so much to to get this fucking guy. What a dumbass doing this. I mean, like, you can't, right? Like, you can't do this, right?
No,
And like, insane, dude. If he was on your team, would you be stuck, Dylan? I mean, I can't. This guy's an idiot, man. This is so dumb. You've got to know that like people are watching you right now, right?
Yeah, I think it's just really funny how like the whole season, the doing it, getting the 2 7-footers was an experiment at the beginning. Like no one really knows it's going to work. Like 2 7-footers in today's game is not really a thing. And then you never really got to see them play together. You finally get to see them play together. It's okay, not great. They were kind of getting it together. And then icing on the cake, he's trying to fight his whole squad and a brawl breaks loose and someone fractures a hand. That's how I remember it, at least.
Yeah. Rudy Gobert looked like Rudy Gobert throwing bones at Kyle Anderson the way I throw bones at Dylan when he tries to hand me strawberry jelly. Let's talk about that game. We'll dive in.
Love strawberry jelly.
Strawberry jelly is fucking awful. Does Dolan have any idea what we're talking about?
No, I do. I remember the text that went out talking about the subject, but I didn't know we were still on this.
This is a debate Michael and I have had for many, many moons,
many years. If you guys haven't listened to the very first episode of this show, Dylan and I have known each other since 5th grade. Dylan and I have all known each other since we were juniors in me and Dylan juniors in high school. If you have a dog in that fight, at the Post Up Boys, go follow us on Twitter. Let us know which one's strawberry or grape jelly. It's not jam ever. Strawberry is fucking disgusting. It's grape jelly only. Let's move on to basketball though. Timberwolves playing against the Lakers in the first play-in game. Lakers win 108-102. Did they actually miss Rudy Gobert in this one? What do you think, Dolan?
Not really. I mean, they had Cat at his natural position. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they sat him at the 5, and I think he did really well early. I think he ended up getting some foul trouble and kind of took him out of rhythm for a little bit. But I mean, they had Karl-Anthony Towns at the 5, like you'd think they would want. Like, to this day, I'm still blown away by that trade. Makes no sense. I don't think they really missed him at all. If he plays this game, I don't think it's closer. I think it's further. Like I don't know.
What did the Jazz get for both Mitchell and Gobert? They got how many picks they get? Do you remember off the top of your head?
No, I think they
like
got
8 or 9
5
or
for Gobert. I know they got 5 for Gobert. Nope. Nobody talks about the Mitchell trade quite as much. So I don't remember.
It was Lauri Markkanen, Colin Sexton, and picks, I assume. Right.
That's a hell of a haul.
The haul
too, right there for sure. So
good on
Jazz. Danny Ainge, man, that man can rebuild a team. We've seen that time out.
Dylan House. Good on the Jazz for getting that haul. But I mean, Minnesota, you're right, man. Like, for a guy you gave up this much for, you lost the game. Okay, so maybe he would have done something, but it didn't really feel like they missed him all that much. You know what I mean? I think they missed the boy who broke his hand punching a fucking wall like an idiot more than they missed Rudy Gobert.
Nas Reed.
You know what I mean?
Nas Reed's broken wrist, but I mean, they played Prince, Anderson, Towns, Conley, Edwards, all 41 minutes or more. So, and it was a close game. Obviously it went to overtime and they just got, they got beat at that point, but they also scored 12 points in the fourth quarter, which is outrageous. I mean, even the Lakers scored 19 in the fourth quarter. So I don't really know what to attribute that to. Edwards being 3 of 17 certainly didn't help. Complete and utter. I don't know if I should go this far. A choke job. I mean, I honestly, coming into the game, I anticipated Edwards. This felt like he reminds me almost of like a Jimmy Butler kind of guy, like where this is his scene. This is his time to step up. This was his opportunity. And, we're one game into his postseason career, if I'm not mistaken, but as disappointing as it could have been, but obviously plenty of time to make up for it.
Yeah, you brought up Ant last episode that you thought, and I agree with you. This is not me coming after you at all. I thought this could be a definite moment where, Anthony Edwards could jump in and really dominate. I don't want to say dominate, but could really just put on a show in this kind of situation. And he kind of felt a little bit lost there. Let's move on to the next one. Dylan, thoughts? I mean, this was your one. You and I talked about this a lot off air. Your not fear, but you didn't want to play the Heat in the first round. That was one that you thought you were going to get. And I think I don't know about you, Dolan, but Dylan and I absolutely knocked. We penciled in the Heat to dog walked the Hawks.
I did too.
Yeah, I did
so
not think
our whole podcast is wrong on that game.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
check my FanDuel, guys. Yeah, right. FanDuel.
That's true. That's true.
Hawks
Dylan
money
did
line, baby.
that's very true.
Hawks money line and Bulls money line. Let's go.
That's true. Yeah, fair play to Dylan. Dylan did call me before the Bulls Raptors games. We'll talk about it in a minute. That Dylan said Bulls going to win tonight, dude. And I was like, I don't fucking know about all that. Maybe, but anyway, this is the Heat Hawks game, Dylan. What do you think? Miami came out. It looked like Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo have been playing with fucking duds who've been playing, I feel, punching above their weight for a while. Bam Adebayo did not have a great game. This whole Heat team is a weird one to me. I don't know how you guys feel, but I was never putting a whole lot of stock in this team. Jimmy Butler, I feel like there's this narrative around him that, and you tell me what you think. There's a narrative around it that he's this guy that turns it on in the playoffs. I mean, kind of, but I don't put him above. I don't put him by himself above a bunch of other teams just because Jimmy Butler's there. But Dylan, what do you think about this Hawks Heat series?
I mean, it was a good game.
Not series game, my fault.
Yeah, it was a good game. I had a feeling that the Hawks were going to pull it out. I don't know why. I just something about Quinn Snyder. Honestly, I just thought like their offense looked better than it has been, and Trae Young and DeJounte Murray seemed like to be able to mesh pretty well that game. It seemed like they played at a faster pace. And it was a recipe that worked. Also, like the Heat could not do anything. Jimmy Butler missed probably like 15 shots in the paint. It seemed like, and he's someone like you asked about his performance. I feel like he just always makes timely buckets. Like even when he played for the Sixers, I remember him hitting timely buckets in the playoffs. And he just did not do it this game. So it was a good one. It was a good game though.
Yeah, interesting. Now, like I said, we've off to Lakers move into that 7th seed. They're taking on the Grizzlies now, and the Hawks have moved into that 7th seed in the East, taking on the Celtics. That left us with the Raptors and Bulls in the East. Loser goes home, and then the Pelicans and the Thunder. And a loser, listen to this, a loser goes home game. Let's talk about this Bulls Raptors one first. Bulls were complete and total shit in the first half, and all of a sudden DeMar, what's funny is when I was watching this game, I was listening to this person in the background screaming their fucking head off, and I was literally wondering, who in the fuck is that? How annoying is that? And then I realized, and they panned away and they showed DeMar DeRozan's daughter.
DeRozan. That's right.
Yeah, DeMar DeRozan.
That's right.
Fucking dog. Okay?
Fan of the show. Let's go. Friend of the podcast.
Friend of the podcast.
Friend of the podcast.
That's right. They panned over to her, saw her, and then she started screaming as Siakam obviously missed, as Toronto missed one of their 18 free throws from the
50% from the free throw line.
That's
Michael,
funny.
you could shoot better than that.
100%. 100%. Absolutely could. Pretty insane. Zach LaVine turned it on. Zach LaVine. Give the man fucking dog out there, dude. Because awesome. I don't know, Dolan and I have been kind of making fun of the Bulls. Dylan as well. We've all been making fun of the Bulls a little bit. I've been going in a little hard on the Chicago Bulls on this podcast because who the fuck wants to be in the Chicago Bulls? And solid win last night, right, Dolan? Like, I mean, that was one that, I mean, I think this was a close team. Dylan and I talked beforehand that this was one of those games that was actually a genuine, it was a toss-up to me, and it ended up being that way. What do you think about that foul at the end?
Bad call.
Yeah, good question. I don't know, man. This whole game was kind of a mess to me. I don't know. I think there's so many different things that happened leading up to that call that call shouldn't mean almost as much as it did, if that makes any sense. Like, yeah. I mean, I as we've already mentioned, 18 to 36 from the free throw line is absolutely fucking absurd. So I don't know. I mean, this is just a Toronto choke job. I mean, they got outscored by 15 in the second half to lose by 4. So I mean, you can't let these things happen. I mean, OG Anunoby, I'm going to specifically call him out because I bet on him to have over 15 and a half points. And with like 17 minutes left in the game, he had 13. 17 minutes passes by, he finishes with 13. He's 3 of 8 from the free throw line. Like, give me a break, dude. Like, what did we watch with this team? I mean, Gary Trent came off the bench. He played he played 17 minutes, shot 1 of 7, non-factor. So they basically just leaned on their starting 5 and and nobody really did too much. I mean, I can't say they didn't do too much. I guess that's unfair. Siakam had 32 and Van Fleet had 26, but just a disaster, man. Where do they go from there? And I guess we shouldn't ask that yet. We'll get back into that at a different time. But
you said it right there.
How do they
though,
let this happen?
Yeah, you said it right there. That Siakam and Van Vliet actually had big numbers, but at no point, Dylan, I don't, you correct me if I'm wrong, or if you feel different about this. It felt like at no point did it like look like it was meshing. Like they got their buckets and they got numbers up, but it didn't feel like at any point it was really at the beginning a little bit, but as the game kept going, it just didn't feel like Toronto really had a rhythm at all. And it was just singular guys just getting buckets here and there. I do want to say before you answer that though, Dylan, very sad that the season for Toronto has ended because OG Anunoby's unders have bought me, I think, 6 fishing poles. I fucking love playing this guy's unders. This guy exerts so much effort on defense that he just forgets about the offensive side of the floor. Not coming after Dolan's too low for me to lay under at 15. But if this guy was ever at 17 and a half, hammering the under. I loved it. Go ahead, Dylan. It never felt like Toronto was really meshing at all as the game went on. And why was that the worst call of the season right there? I mean, I thought that was a bad fucking call, man. That you can't make that call at the end of the game, right?
Yeah, I mean, the call was bad. Like, I don't think, obviously didn't have much of a effect on it, but it's like, it's weird. They called it right the first time, and then they went back and discussed it, and it was just wrong. But,
yeah,
I mean, in the scheme of things, it doesn't matter. But I think one thing that, obviously Toronto wasn't meshing, but the Bulls have a top 5 defense, and they play passing lanes like crazy. The second half, like their defense was really good in the first half. Yeah, Caruso and Patrick Beverley. And their defense was really good in the first half. They just couldn't do anything on offense. In the second half, Zach LaVine carries their offense, and then DeRozan gets some buckets late in the fourth quarter, and that was the recipe to win because their defense was good. It was good the whole game. Like seeing the energy Alex Caruso brought, I don't like the Lakers, and I always never gave Alex Caruso any credit, but that game proved me wrong. That dude is a dog.
He played a great game. Pat Williams was big too.
He
Beverly,
was, yeah.
Beverly did his thing, at least defensively. And from the trade deadline on, I mean, we really saw that become their identity. Is they're going to make you grind out a win. If you're going to beat them, you're going to have to work really fucking hard to score 110 points. And here we are looking at a game where Toronto scored 105 and lost because the Bulls scored 109. So
yeah.
Like Michael said earlier, we shit on the Bulls quite a bit, and
shit on
I'll shit on them here again very soon. But for a moment, I'll give them their flowers. I mean, LaVine was really good. He was, what was it? Hot as fish grease.
Hot as fish grease.
Hot as
that was awful.
Fish grease.
That was awful.
That was the sickest quote of the NBA season, Michael. You need to shut your fucking mouth, terrible. Dude. Hot as fish grease. I'm gonna get that tattooed on my back, I think.
When I heard that, I literally rolled my eyes, and then 2 seconds later, Dylan and I get a text in the group chat with our other buddy. Shout out Nate McCullen. Dolan sends a text to all of us that with all caps, hot as fish grease. don't fucking text me that again. That was an awful. That was a bottom tier.
Get out of here.
That was terrible, man. I do want to say one thing because I think Doris Burke was on the call, so shout out Doris Burke. But she said
friend of the program.
Friend of the program. Yep, friend of the program. She said it on air that I didn't, for whatever reason, I never really put it together, that last year Chicago was making a lot of these last minute winners, and a lot of those mid range game was really working for them. And this year, that's one of the reasons that they've fucking sucked. And I was like, yeah, spot. I don't know how I'd ever put that together, but I was like, yeah, fucking spot on. Like spot on. A lot of close games for them last year. This year, it's just a weird team, man. Give them their flowers. I'm not going to dog Chicago too much because they did deserve this win. I mean, they came back.
Not this week.
No. What do you mean not this week?
We're not going to dog them this week.
No, yeah. Not this week. Man. Absolutely. I mean, tomorrow,
maybe.
Tomorrow's another day, right?
Bulls money line, maybe.
Maybe
they come out hot as fucking fish grease.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I told Michael before the game, we were talking, and I was like, I had a feeling that the Bulls were going to win because I think Nick Nurse kind of just checked out as a coach. Like, I think he's definitely gone. We'll get in that in the later discussion, I guess. But it's just like I just had a feeling that Nick Nurse was checked out.
Houston interviewing Sam Cassell today.
All right. good looking man, that Sam Cassell.
Yeah, man, he's got a face for radio.
Yeah, he's a looker.
Oh, whoa.
So, I mean, so do I. That's why I'm fucking here.
That's why we're on a podcast.
Hey, don't be picking on friend of the show, Sam. I think you're a handsome
That's
man,
right. Yeah,
Sam.
that's
Cassell.
true. He's a
Handsome
friend of the
devil.
program.
These two fucking guys are ugly as shit. I'm not. So don't. I'm right. The Sam Cassell, me and you, we're fucking dogs out here, man. Don't let these two fools fucking pick on you. Let's Nick Nurse. You think? I mean, he's gone, right, boys?
Yeah, he's gone.
Dylan seems super confident about this.
100%.
Perhaps I've missed out on some news.
I'm not. I don't know why they. I don't know why. Well, I did it back. Toronto had the coach of the year and then fired him right after, so they absolutely might kick Nick Nurse to the curb.
Yeah,
but I don't.
Maybe so.
I don't know. I don't. Same as I don't. We're not talking about the Pistons, but same as I don't feel Ime's a lock for the Pistons. I don't think Nick Nurse is a lock to leave Toronto. But also, it's one of those. I wouldn't be surprised either.
Mhm.
Like I don't really have a. I don't have a one way or another. But Dylan, you think Nick Nurse completely checked out? He's ready to go.
Yeah, that was my thought going into that game. That's why I picked Bulls money line.
Off to Houston.
I think so. I mean, it's really weird to have him in, like, he's a current coach of a team, and the team was in the play-in, and there's rumors of him going to a completely different team. I just thought that was super weird. So it's like, I don't think it's made up.
Yeah.
We'll see though.
All right, let's talk about it. Talk about my favorite topic here. Bulls win 109-105 against the Raptors. Let's talk about it, though. Let's talk about it, boys. The Thunder beat the Pelicans 123-118 in listen to me. This is a must win. This is a must
Win or go home.
win game.
High stakes.
I want to put it all out there for everybody. I had J. Will's unders. Okay, they hit. I also hammered CJ McCollum's overs across the board. They did not hit. CJ McCollum, yikes is not. You ain't kidding. It was not great. It was one of those that I felt, hey, Brandon Ingram, they're gonna be going after him. CJ's gonna go off, and he did not. He comes out later on. And he says that he's injured. There's another man that was injured, in quotations. Okay, let's talk about the game first, though. 123-118. Beginning of the game, Shea, who I love. I mean, everybody, if you listen to the show, you know that I am a massive Shea Gilgeous-Alexander fan. I think he had 8 points at the half, 11 points at the half, around there.
Off the top of my head, but it was
Sounds something like that.
low.
It was low. Came out immediately and had 8 points. Immediately in the second had 8 points. And the Thunder from there, you're not going to get 25 points from Lou Dort every single night. Okay, I need that clear immediately. Shout out Lou Dort. Give the man his flowers. You ain't getting 25 a night off of Lou Dort. Giddy, another 25.
31.
It was. I'm sorry. Yeah, 30. Another 31 yet. Over. Did one of you guys play him over 25? Dolan, I feel like
I did. Yeah.
That's where I got that from.
What, 31, 10, and 9, I think. Giddy had.
Yeah,
That's exactly
Dylan. That's one. That's a Dylan Bond player if I've ever seen.
Love
one.
that guy.
I mean,
Love that guy.
fucking know you do.
God, love that guy.
Fucking knew you would. That's Josh Giddey's a Dylan Bond player if I've ever seen one in my life. Those boys took over. I mean, those boys absolutely took over this game, dogged this Pelicans team into submission, and Pelicans are going home. How do you feel about that game tonight? Did you feel like, Dolan, did you feel like Thunder were going to win this game? Or did you feel like I felt that the Pelicans were going to steamroll the fuck? And I'm a big, I'm a big, so there's no bias here. I'm a massive OKC and Denault fan. But I thought Pelicans were going to come out and beat the shit out of them today. But this is massive for the Thunder.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I thought they were going to beat the shit out of them, but I thought they had some really good advantages and just flat out experience. I thought Valanciunas would be a really big impact on the glass, which he was. But I thought they would be really good at finding a lot of open threes, which you could say they were, but they just couldn't knock them down. They shot 32.1% from three on 28 attempts. But I mean, looking back, I did think that the Pelicans would pull this one off because, I mean, we're talking Jalen Williams, rookie. The other Jalen Williams, rookie. Yeah. Lou Dort, year 4, probably. Giddy, year 3.
Yeah.
Gilgeous-Alexander. Yeah, that's right. Year 2, Gilgeous-Alexander, year 3. And these guys, I mean, they took on basically the entire game. I mean, Isaiah Joe snuck in for a little bit. Aaron Wiggins a little bit. Dario Saric, Sixers legend, snuck in for 11 minutes. But I mean, these guys are these are 22-year-olds on average, and they got the job done. I have nothing but respect for this team, and I'm super excited to see where they go. We could, again, that's another subject we could talk about at a later date, but just impressed, man. These guys are fucking poised, man. These guys are ready for this moment.
Dolan, no, they don't have Chet, who's fucking jacked right now.
Jacked
right now, back in the summertime
in the weight room, baby.
Yeah. So
look out.
if you haven't seen that picture, I'll put it up on our Twitter at the Post Up Boys. Go follow us on Twitter, and you can see that this guy has been fucking putting in time in the gym. Okay.
Yeah.
This guy is
about to square off.
Oh yeah,
dude. I mean, I grew like 7 inches in 1 year, and I went from 5'8", 130 to 6'3", 130. So like, I kind of get it. It's hard to put on muscle and weight, but it is funny because a lot of like the posts you see on Twitter is like a before and after Chet, and they're like, this guy looks like he packed on some pounds, and you're just like, what the fuck did he put? What am I looking at that you like? What am I missing that you guys are seeing? So
I don't know what this hater's talking about. I see it, Chet. Stay in that fucking weight room, son. Bulk season, all season.
Keep working, Chet.
That's right.
Friend of the program.
Friend of the program. Dylan, thoughts on the OKC Pelicans game? Anything deep before we get into the main man?
I mean, I was looking forward to the game. Like we all root for the Thunder. Giddy, my man.
Yeah.
But I was excited to see how the young guys would play, how they would play like on the biggest stage that any of them have played on, at least that I can recall.
It's a free hit, right? Like this team being so young, this means you can't lose here. Yeah. I mean, you could lose by 50 and it wouldn't fucking matter.
Yeah, and it's like, how many televised games did the Thunder have this year? Like national televised games? Like probably not many. Yeah. So it's like even that. So it's like they get a national. That's my favorite part about the play-in. It puts these high stake games at teams that normally wouldn't have these high stake games. So you kind of get to see how they would react. And the young boys came to play. Freaking awesome! It was a good game. I almost bet Thunder money line. I just didn't have it in me, but I didn't have the same feeling I had. I didn't have the same feeling I had with the Hawks and the Bulls. I just had a feeling with those two.
To be fair, Dylan, to be fair to him, Dylan did call me before the games tipped off, and he said, Bulls Hawks. And I was like, I don't really know, Dylan. And he's spot on. Let's talk about it, boys. They played a clip of, there was one person missing, right? If you've been listening to the show, then you know that I said earlier, feed me a Pelicans Warriors Western if that's possible. That's like my dream scenario. I'd love to see that because I thought a certain Zion Williamson would play.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Willie Hernangomez.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was. Yeah, spot on. I thought a certain Zion would be playing. I think we all felt a certain Zion would be playing. And interestingly enough, I don't know. I mean, I imagine you guys saw this, but if you have not, he was asked, "Where are you at physically to be playing in this game?" This was after a practice that he attended, that he participated in with the team. And they asked him, "How do you feel?" And he said, "I feel 100%, but I don't feel like Zion." Whatever the fuck that means.
Michael, you know what that means. You want me to read and translate for you?
That's right. That's a little inside joke from a text I sent this morning. It's fucking absurd what this guy has said. A reporter asked him, "Zion, would you be able to go if the Pelicans made it to a first round series?" Zion said, "If I feel like Zion, I'll be out there." Who the fuck does this guy think he is?
He's Zion, apparently.
This is fucking absurd, okay? The fact that I'm taking it for a minute and I'll hand it off to you two, but I'm going to exhaust all of my vocal cords into this. I was utterly pissed off at this. I was actually stunned when I watched it the first time because I couldn't believe what this clown said on TV. First off, this guy's played, I looked this up, okay? This guy's played in 46% of his career professional games. So what the fuck does playing like Zion mean? You've been injured for half of them. So if you don't feel good, that's normal, mate. Like, what are we talking about? Like, this is your normal. So if you felt like 100, that means if you said it, those are your words coming out of your mouth. You said you felt like 100%. If that's the case, then you feel better than ever because 46% of your career games you've not played in means you've been injured that whole time. This guy makes, people need to stop looking at the final product. This guy makes not 13 mil a year, 200. And the problem, you know what the problem is? I don't know 13 mil. You know what I mean? Like I can think it in my mind, but I can't actually see it. And Dylan and Dolan know me. I'm always fascinated about the money aspect and all this shit. Zion makes 13 mil, and I don't think people register that because 13 million is so much. 13 million divided by 52 weeks in the fucking year is $250,000 a week. This cat is making over $1 million a month. And this guy is doing nothing but on June 1st, that is going to bump from 13 mil at $250,000 a week all the way up to $43 million a year at $800,000 a week. Do taxes come into that? Of course they do. Fuck those taxes though. Like he's still making absurd amount of money to come out and say, I don't feel well. I don't feel like Zion. If LeBron James said that, I mean, I'd still kill him and crucify him, but it's LeBron James. Like, you shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? But this guy's Zion Williams. You've played in the league for 4 years and you've missed almost 50% of your games. This is a win or go home. Don't send him to the hard hitting blue collar town of Detroit. Stay the fuck out, right? Not that we'd ever look for him and want him. Keep this clown as far away from my team as possible. I've talked enough. Dolan, thoughts on this absolute doofus and why he said what he said?
Just insane comments to hear from, when you look at the circumstance of the game that they played. I can resonate a little bit with it, in the sense of like, I don't know, do you want to bring back a guy that's missed the last 30 games in such a key moment? So that, I think that's a whole separate discussion. You might not. And if not, then that's cool. But the way he said it was so intriguing to me. And I'm struggling to wrap my mind around it. And I struggled even worse after I heard what CJ McCollum had to say. I would assume we're going to get to CJ's comments. We will. I can go ahead and kind of spill them. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So CJ said, throughout my career, I've always been a player to do what it takes to help my team. I could have taken the easy way out and gotten surgery. This is in reference to his thumb. I believe he has a torn ligament. I don't remember which one in his shooting thumb. So this is something he's dealt with most of this season. He said, I could have taken the easy way out and gotten surgery and sat and watched. I'm not that type of person. I'm not that type of player. Even though it affected my performance, I went out and competed the best I can. That is so incriminating of what he feels about what Zion did in this situation. So, part of me is like, all right, I'm not sure I'd want to throw such a high usage player into this kind of mix in this scenario. But at the same time, man, I mean, this is, Brandon Ingram's, he's so good. He's so good. This team was great. Trey Murphy broke out. This team had so much potential. They win this game, and they, if Zion was healthy and could get out there, they could truly make a run in a pretty wide open West. I mean, this team has pretty much all except for a healthy Zion. So,
let me add on to what Dolan said about CJ McCollum. I'm gonna pass it over to Dylan real quick. So CJ, another part of CJ's quotes are, this is, and I quote, "We've got to be available. We've got to do what we need to do off the court in terms of preparation." I'm laughing because this is hilarious. In preparation, in terms of getting treatment, in terms of getting the right sleep, the right type of hydration, having the right diet. This is CJ McCollum after the Pelicans play-in loss. That is from this man's own. And CJ McCollum, I don't know if any of you guys know this, but I believe CJ is on the Players Association.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so this guy's not just a basketball person. He's got a big brain. This guy's a smart dude. This guy is a consummate pro. And there's no other way that we can take this, right, Dylan, other than this is a fucking shot at Zion being a fat ass eating Bo-Berry biscuits from
We love
Bojangles,
Bo-Berry
which are
biscuits. Shout out
fucking
Bo-Berry
delicious.
biscuits.
Shout out
Shout
Bowberry
out.
Biscuits,
We need
Boj-
company
sponsors.
of the program. Yeah.
Shout Bojangles.
Bojangles. We love Bo-Berry
Send us.
biscuits.
Love it. Hey, we're not mad at you, Zion. Those Bo-Berry biscuits are
Do what you got to
fucking
do,
delicious.
baby. Do what you got to do. We love it.
Dylan,
I'm-
thoughts?
I mean, you guys pretty much hit the nail on the head on all of it. It's like, it's absurd that he said it, but the world we live in, the media dissects every little syllable that all these athletes and stuff say. And that's our job as media. Yeah, we're the media. I mean, how often have we just like, I say BS things at work all the time without even thinking about it. So it's like, it's different when they're on that platform. They have to think about what they say. They have all these people to help them what they say. I don't have anyone that helps me what I say. I can't imagine if I did.
Yeah,
Probably need one, but
100%. I actually, that's a beautiful segue into what I had next. Is that it genuinely is. I'm super passionate about that because I love coming on to this guy and being like, hey, this was a fucking bonehead ass move. There are two things here. There was two things here. What Dylan just said is spot on. That it didn't make any sense about if there's no one there for all of us at work, all of us in our personal lives to be like, hey, shut the fuck up. There actually is somebody on the Pelicans roster that, and talking the Pelicans organization roster, who's the media person who needs to get the microphone away from this fucking kid because he clearly I was talking to a buddy of ours named Pepe Fructosa. He's a Filipino. He's a great human being. He lives out in California. Pepe, I love you to death, dog. Him and I were talking earlier. And
Friend of the program.
Friend of the pro. He actually is friend, like everybody, friend of the program. He was talking to me earlier, and he brought up an amazing point that I don't think Zion wants to be the bad guy. I think he genuinely does want to go play basketball. I think he does want to be liked. I think he could not turn down the bag that New Orleans gave him, but he takes into consideration what his mom and his stepfather says with massive weight. And I think I'm obviously speculating, but I don't think there's any other way that we can take these words other than at face value of this guy wants to leave and be at a bigger spot, or this guy doesn't want to risk injury and fuck up his career, even in a play-in game that's a must-win that could, on a team that if he does play regularly, we're talking about a team that could legit contend for an NBA title. This was just a clown move. Yeah, exactly. This was just a clown move all around by Zion. I could not. If I'm the Pelicans, I'm just hot take. If I'm the Pelicans, get me away from this fucking guy. Somebody will give you a bag for this dude. I'm trading him off. You have a spine of a team that's very good. Go get somebody else. Fill more pieces around him because this was a fucking. I get it. You know, you don't want to. Dylan's spot on. Dylan's spot on. You don't want to bring a guy who's not played since January.
Yeah, dude, I barely remember.
Yeah,
January sounds good to me.
That's how bad it is. I mean, you don't want to bring him back in a big game that's like this. But when you got that same player coming out going, yeah, I'm 100%, but I don't feel like Zion. I mean, get the fuck out of here, man. All right, let's move away from this shit.
Question for you, Dolan. So Zion's first 4 years in the league is very similar to Joel Embiid's first 4 years in the league. Did you want Joel to leave, or did you want him? Only difference is they did not pay Joel a massive contract initially. They paid Zion big.
No. I'll answer for that. Dolan was an absolute scum human being that said, no. He needs to sit out so we can get as many fucking draft picks as possible because we don't like winning around here. And then they got all these fucking draft picks and drafted Ben Simmons and Markelle fucking Fultz. Don't stop it, dude. Don't talk to me about this everything.
Shut your mouth, dude. How many wins did you just watch Detroit have? Shut up. Your team fucking sucks, and they just shamelessly tanked their way through the season. So
we're not talking about the Pistons. Rent-free.
Yeah, well, we kind of are because you brought up shameless tanking. If you want to talk about that, you go ahead and look at the NBA standing and see who's dead fucking last this season. So, no, I mean, I don't know if I see the same, I guess, arc with Zion as I do with Joel. Joel was out 2 straight years, and we never really made any noise. Even, he didn't really miss this magnitude of a game in that time frame, so I can't compare it. But so much, obviously, after taking guy 3 overall, and we're 2 years in, and he was out the whole time. Obviously, very, very discouraging. Don't get me wrong, but at that time, I was just numb to him missing games rather than this being a huge opportunity for the franchise, and hearing that, hey, I'm 100%, but I can't play in this game that means so much to you guys. Like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to draw parallels there. There was obviously a lot of, I don't know if I should call it emotional, anything, because I don't know if it's fair to call anything NBA related emotional, but I am very heavily invested in the Sixers. So it was a very difficult thing to go through, I guess, as a fan, but I don't really see too many parallels in this situation.
Yeah.
So I think that if you take out the quote that we're specifically talking about, I think there's a lot of parallels, except for you saw Zion on the court maybe a little bit more than Joel did. And you could, so you see what you're missing. So
Yeah.
you didn't really see what you were missing with Joel. And Joel was such a raw talent coming out. Like, no one really knew what he was going to be. His potential was through the roof. Zion was number one overall pick, and he was Zion. So it's like, I guess you could, I think just themselves, like as players, are kind of similar, but the situations are different. I guess it's the way, because the situation's a little different.
The magnitude of what Joel was missing was vastly different. So
he wasn't missing big games. They weren't going to win with him or without him. Like, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
But now it's like when Zion was playing, they were first in the West. So I guess that's true. But
yeah, it didn't hurt quite as bad at the time, at least in the winning sense. It hurt because we took this guy 3rd overall, and then we took Saric 10th overall, and Saric was over in Croatia for a little while before he even came over. So Sixers legend. I walked into that draft with a 3rd and 10th pick, and super excited, like, hey, what are we about to build? And they're like, oh, we ain't doing shit for another 2 years. So that's a whole different subject, and one that's probably not necessary to talk about today. But
remember when Andrew Bynum broke his whole career bowling?
Don't want to talk about it.
Let's move on. We talked about enough of the Zion Williams stuff. Let's move on to Friday's final.
Gotta piss, baby. Let's piss.
Go on. All right, let's get going. Let's kick it off to Friday's games. The final play-in games. Bulls taking on the Heat, 7 p.m. Eastern time. How are we feeling? Dylan, let me start with you, because I don't know why I start with you with the Heat and all this stuff, because I know you didn't want to play the Heat, but how are we feeling, Dylan? Bulls, Heat. Winner plays the Bucks. So I don't know how much of a winner you are. Loser goes home. What do you think, Dylan?
The way the Heat played, it's really hard to say that they're going to win. I know it's just one game, but it's like they just look like they did not want it at all. So, and the Bulls looked good. Like, their defense was good, and like playing passing lanes like that. Like I said earlier in the show, Bulls money line. Let's go.
Bulls money line, baby. Dolan, what are your thoughts on this? Bulls. I believe this is this in Miami? It is in Miami.
Bulls. Honestly, I have kind of an outsider's opinion on this one. I think this is a wonderful opportunity to take a nap or to do anything other than watch this game. There probably hasn't been a single game I've been less excited about all season. I think these are the two most boring teams matching up in a big spot, and it still doesn't excite me in the slightest. I think this is gonna be a boring fucking game.
This is a Nate McCullen, Patty McCullen, Lil Partner, atrocious game coming up
for sure.
I have
not right that anybody will know what that means, but
yeah, well they'll figure it out. Keep listening, you'll figure it out. This game, this game's gonna fucking suck. I don't believe this game's gonna be good at all. I'm not interested at all in this game. I don't like Chicago. I don't think it's a very good team. If they play defensively like that, they can make it interesting. But is Miami fun to watch? I mean, Miami's been one of those teams this year that's been a fucking dud. And we'll talk about this more in the summer, but I think Miami is one. I think they could be a Pat Riley wild moment away from blowing it up, minus Jimmy Butler. So we could see a lot of interesting stuff this coming off season. Kyrie, Dame. Stay tuned for this summer. We'll talk about all of that. I'm gonna go. Give me the Bulls plus 5.5.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bulls +5. I think the Bulls keep this one close with defense.
I'm gonna go me over 0.5 doing something fucking else other than watching.
Watching baseball, probably.
That's not even true. I'll probably watch, but
On his phone.
I'm not excited about it.
Let's go to the 9:30 tip off against Thunder taking on the Timberwolves. Fucking feed me the Thunder in this game.
Thunder money line, baby.
Yeah, gonna have a hard time being unbiased about this one. Definitely want the Thunder. It'll be very intriguing to see if Gobert plays. If he does, and they kind of commit to him being on the floor, he could, he could be the X factor of this game. This is a 20-point, 20 rebound kind of spot for him if he plays, and if they don't choose to go small and put Cat at the 5, which is still obviously not small, but for their roster it kind of is. But I don't know. Rudy is going to play such a big factor in this game, and it's so hard to predict because we don't even know if he's going to be at this damn game. So I'm not much of a spread guy. I guess we can discuss bets a little later into the show about this game. Sure. So I'm not going to give a spread pick. But I will say if Rudy Gobert fucking plays this game, dude, his rebound line is 12.5, and I like that a lot.
Rudy Gobert asked if he was able to play against the Lakers, would he have made a difference? Rudy Gobert comes back with, I don't know if I would have been able to play against the Lakers due to an injury. I've been having back spasms all year. He was then followed up with another question of, how long has this been a problem? And then how have you gone about taking care of it? And his quote was, I would warm up before the game and see how it goes, but I wouldn't be able to move like I would like to. Which is a fucking lie. It's an absolute
That's why he didn't
lie.
knock Kyle Anderson out.
Exactly.
It's because his back spasms. He didn't get enough behind
I
it.
think so, huh?
Exactly. Get out of here with this fucking lie. Give me the Thunder. This is a Michael Willis just playing with his heart, which is what you should not be doing, betting with your heart. Give me the Thunder plus 172. I fucking love that line so much. Let's
plus 185 on DraftKings if you're listening to what Michael's betting opinion is. And he doesn't line shop, so go ahead and do that.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's why Dolan's here. I only have one sports book, and that is FanDuel. Dolan always tells me all the time to go get more. Been thinking about it for a while. Maybe I'll do that. Cannot wait. Thunder, give me the Thunder money line. Let me give me them against the Nuggets as well, and then I'll get my nice steak dinner on Dylan. Dylan, Nuggets versus the 8 seed. Does it matter who comes out of this Western Conference play-in?
Nuggets win, but Thunder Nuggets, super fun series. I'd love to watch it. I love Giddey. I don't know if I mentioned that. Let me see some Josh Giddey.
Dolan, thoughts? You think how do you feel about it? Let's dive into each one of these playoff series before we get kicked off, because by the time next week rolls around, we will be a couple games deep into all of these. Nuggets versus the 8 seed. Dolan, does it matter about this Western Conference play-in game? Can either of these teams stand up against the Nuggets?
I'm going to have a podcast unpopular opinion and say the Timberwolves would give Denver a tougher time than OKC would.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think
that was supposed to be unpopular, fellas. What the fuck?
I don't know. I don't know why that was supposed to be unpopular. I don't disagree with that at all. I think that if the T-Wolves are going, then they will definitely give Denver a game. I do not see Thunder actually beating Denver. I feel like Denver will possibly win that series against Thunder. If it is the T-Wolves,
possibly win it.
I think that is I think that's upset alert right there. If T-Wolves come around and
I like their chances.
I like the Nuggets. Let's go on to the very next game. I'm not gonna go all around all over the place. Suns Clippers. Thoughts?
That's a doozy. That's a doozy.
Get out.
Shut up, dude.
So it's hard to not say Suns on account of Kevin Durant has not lost while suiting up for the Suns yet. So
got a haircut the other day.
Yeah, good for him.
And he's
big news there.
He's freshly clean. Like
Dolan loves these dry ass jokes off of Twitter. He sends them to us all the time. Dude, go ahead, Dylan. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think that the Suns win and give me 6 games.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that how we're going to go through and say team and how many games?
I have a couple. I don't know if I have a game for every single one. I don't. If I give one, it's not confident. I do have a confident in a team, but I'm not confident on how many games. The games is just a throwaway line, I guess.
You don't
Go
lose
ahead.
money if you're wrong.
Yeah, and that's fine.
You could just say it.
It's very true. Very true. Go
It's
ahead,
true.
Dylan. What do you think about this one?
Conviction's the most important thing. So
Yeah.
Suns in 5, dude. There's no. We still don't have PG, right? I mean,
Yeah, no PG. Yeah,
I don't know, man.
Westbrook's about to ball out though, so
I
we love
guess.
playoff Westbrook.
Yeah, you could say that. Like you said, Phoenix hasn't lost to Durant. They also haven't played very many games, but Durant is just the most. He's the best fit on. I mean, it doesn't matter where you put him. He's such a perfect fit anywhere, anytime, any team, any teammates. Man, I have a hard time seeing Phoenix lose this series, even without the chemistry that you'd ideally want built up at this point. It doesn't concern me because Durant's just that good. He's just that fluid, man. He doesn't need the ball that often to score 28, 32. Like, that's no problem, man. He can be a lower usage guy than almost anybody in the league that's scoring the amount of points that he's getting. So, Chris Paul can still run point pretty comfortably.
Michael loves Chris Paul.
Yeah, Michael is a huge Chris Paul and State Farm guy. Aaron Rodgers as well. But
fuck all that.
So Chris Paul can still run point comfortably. Booker can still be massive usage. Unfortunately, DeAndre Ayton's just hit. He's fucked. He's going to score 10 points a game because they just don't give him the ball, which is a shame. But Durant just fits into any scheme, anywhere, anytime. I have a hard time imagining LA pulling this off. So give me Phoenix in, I'm going to say 5 games.
I agree with all the points that Dylan and Dolan have brought up, especially about Durant. Durant is
and Chris Paul.
No, not all of them. Take that back. Not all of them. I agree with the Kevin Durant take. However, I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna go Clippers in 6. The games. The games are not. I don't have much conviction in how many games for most of these series is, but
you do.
All right, yeah, fuck it. Clippers in 6. Fucking hammer your entire mortgage on it. All right. Let's go to the next one. Kings versus Warriors.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Dolan, what would be your opinion if Paul George is healthy? Phoenix still wins? Is it closer series?
Yeah. I think this is a great series. Phoenix takes it home if Paul George is healthy. I still think this will be it'll be. I foresee it being kind of odd. Like, I think these will be close games. Like, I don't think the talent differential. Well, I don't know about that. I think this will be decent games, decent series, but I think Phoenix gets it done fairly easily at the end of the day.
The talent differential is. I see what you're saying, though. It's not the talent differential; it's the depth.
Yeah.
If the Phoenix depth could come back in, but the best players. This when the playoffs come around, unless your name is Zion, then you don't play in these big go play or win or go home games. These guys turn it on. Guys like Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, these guys turn it on. Yeah, exactly. These guys turn it on in the playoffs. Let's move on to. I can't wait for this. The first time in NBA history that the Kings and Warriors are in the playoffs at the same time. That's absurd. Kings take it, and then when they do that, they play on each other. Kings versus Warriors. I'm gonna jump into this. Warriors in 4. Give me the sweep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Not bad. Dylan, go ahead.
So I was watching NBA TV the other day, and Charles Barkley guaranteed the Kings make it to the Western Conference Finals.
Guarantee they don't. I'd love it. We have a ticket out. I'd love it.
Good man to fade right there.
I'm gonna give, with the pattern of the Warriors, the way they play on the road, I've got to give some wins to the Kings. I'll say Warriors in 6.
I'm going to say Warriors in 7.
7? Really?
Warriors are so dog shit on the road. Sacramento. I don't love Sacramento's style for the postseason in a sense that they're going to just try to outscore the shit out of you. And, and let me give them a little credit. They've made it this far. Mike Brown's a good coach. Maybe they tighten up a little bit defensively. I don't think they're going to be like an absolute disaster on defense. Maybe they have the talent to tighten up at least a little bit, but overall their game is going to be to try to outscore you. And I don't think that kind of style works in the postseason, but one team I could see it having some success against is Golden State. I think this is a good matchup for Sacramento in that regard. So
Wiggins comes back game one. Yeah.
What's that?
Wiggins comes back game one.
Yeah, he does. He's 22 to 25 minutes off the bench in game one is his projection. So, but Sacramento at home should pull off most of those games. So, I think this is going to be a pretty damn tight series. I think it goes far because Golden State is just dog shit in certain situations, and I mean they're so bad. I don't think they can just fix it with a snap of a finger just because the postseason started. And I think Sacramento's talent is just significant enough to make them very uncomfortable here. But end of the day, Golden State pulls it off, but I think they have to work very, very hard for this.
If this was a road game to Phoenix or to Memphis or to Denver, I would definitely be right on board. I believe this is, and I should have looked this up. That's on me. I should have looked up what the splits were for these two teams this season when they play each other. I just feel like this is a moment that Golden State is going to turn. They've just been waiting. They're one of those teams. It's been bad. Don't get me wrong. It's been bad on the road for the Warriors this year. But I just think this is a moment these guys are like, all right, let's fucking turn it all the way up to 12.
I think it's the Kings are going to have actual home court advantage. Like I think their crowd is going to be crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
Did you see the prices for tickets for the playoffs were absurd?
I didn't.
I didn't actually.
They were like twice as much. I don't remember the exact numbers. Twice as much as home tickets were for the Warriors games. It's like they're seizing this moment. The Sacramento Kings are. It might not happen again. We're in the playoffs.
Good thing friend of the show Judy has a season ticket.
There you go.
Because
that's right. We love Judy.
Woman, I don't know what her financial situation's about. They're trying to price
season ticket.
I do.
I'm sure
she's
okay.
a friend of mine. So
that's right.
Friend of the podcast.
She's trying to price. They're trying to price out poor Judy, who's been a fucking diehard fan since this team was as long as this team's been dog shit. Man, what a ridiculous Warriors and 4 for Michael. Let's move on. Grizzlies versus Lakers. Dolan's favorite team is the Memphis Grizzlies in the West. This Grizzlies team's been talking a lot of shit about this. More specifically, Dolan's favorite player in the league's been talking a lot of shit about this. Lakers
take
team.
It easy.
And I have a weird feeling that the Grizzlies, that the Lakers about to go on a run. I actually see this game going in 6. Give me the Lakers.
Wow. All right. Fair enough. I think that Memphis is the playoff wild card. I think they're the hardest team to project. I think they have the lowest floor and the highest ceiling of any team in this postseason. So I think this will be one of the hardest series to predict. Obviously, we've seen Anthony Davis, LeBron James duo do it before. I think their deadline was incredible. I love what the Lakers did at the deadline. This is from a person that does not like the Lakers. So I have a hard time projecting this series. With that said, Memphis in 6.
I'm going to go Memphis in 5. I think Memphis matches up well. I think they are going to bully. And I think the Jaren Jackson, Anthony Davis matchup is going to be a good one. And I think that I think the Lakers are kind of soft. And I think Memphis is going to exploit them for that.
I think that Jaren Jackson, I've said it before, Jaren Jackson fouls a lot. I think this is a moment Anthony Davis can write off, not write off completely, but take away a lot of this negative that's been on him. He's been on a tear at the end of this season since the deadline. I think he's going to put Jaren Jackson in a lot of foul trouble. LeBron's going to turn it on in postseason LeBron fashion that we see every single fucking time. Never seen Memphis do it. Never seen this Memphis team do it. So I like LeBron. I like the Lakers. I'm interested to see. Again, I think this team could truly go on a run. This Lakers team, guys. I do feel though that the West in particular is one of these. It's the conference that I have the least amount of faith in. Any one of these teams, barring Denver for me, could truly make a run. I feel like this is a very close battle here in the Western Conference. What are your thoughts?
Go ahead, Dylan.
I was reading Dolan updating the notes. So I wasn't listening. So say it again, Michael.
Let's move on over to the Eastern Conference play, and now let's talk about Bucks versus the 8 seed Bulls. It'll be between the Bulls and the Heat. I don't know if this game doesn't matter at all. Bucks and I mean, give me 5, I guess, but I mean, if they swept them, I wouldn't be surprised. Bucks win this series. Period.
How many games?
5.
Michael said 5.
Sweep. Yeah, gentleman sweep.
I think there's got to be a sweep somewhere, and I'm gonna pick it here, so I'll go Bucks in 4.
Nice. I'm gonna go Bucks in 5.
Okay. Yeah, less said about that series, the better. What Dolan said about the Bulls and Heat. I mean, you take either one of those teams and put up against the Bucks, I'm fucking bored out of my mind. Cavs and Knicks. I love this series. I think this is the series that's going to be the most electric. I think the Cavs are a better team, just straight up. I think the Cavs are a much better team than this Knicks team. But I think this Knicks team is buzzing. I think that city's buzzing right now. Cleveland is obviously buzzing as well. I've got Cavs winning in 7. I've got a very close series here. The Cavs, I'm going to say this. I think Dolan said about Memphis that it's one of the teams that he can't really predict. I got this way about the Cavs. I don't really know if the Cavs feel like to me that they could be the team that could. I can see the Cavs upsetting the Bucks. It'd be tough. There's a lot uphill battle there, but I think not a lot of stocks in putting this Cavs team. But go ahead, guys.
So I think that I like this series a lot. Any updates on Randall? Does anybody have any?
I don't think he's playing for the first 2 games.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything new.
Okay. I'm going to say Cavs in 6. What did you say, Michael? Cavs in 7?
I said 7.
Yeah. I'm going to say Cavs in 6, maybe 5, but I'll go 6, give him credit. But like I said, I think we're going to see a postseason by Donovan Mitchell that we've very rarely seen by anybody else. And I'm going to jump on that bandwagon, Michael. Cavs upset Bucks the next round. We'll worry about that when we get there. But I think Donovan Mitchell is going to put on a freaking show this playoffs. Just wait.
You said 6?
I said 6. Yeah.
Dylan's desperate for the easiest ride to the fucking finals for the Celtics.
The Cavs have beaten the Celtics 3 out of 4 times this season. So I don't want to play him either. I just think, dude, Donovan Mitchell has been under the radar so good the last month or 2 of the year. So good.
Dolan, the Cavs, Knicks, thoughts here? What do you got?
I'm going to go Knicks in 6 games.
I like that. I do like that. Again, I don't know where this Cavs team is. Go ahead, Dolan.
What's up? Dolan or Dylan?
Dolan. I agreed with you, and I said go on because I interrupted you. Go on.
Gotcha. So even without the Randall news, I'm intrigued by this Knicks team, and I think they're pretty damn good. We've talked a couple times for a couple weeks about Brunson and how we're just, me and Michael bombed on this signing, and I didn't think too much of it at the time. I thought his contract was a joke. It's not, dude. This guy's fucking legit. Quickly behind him is really good. And I think this Randall injury, it obviously it could be their demise, but at the same time, I think it also could be their blessing if he makes it back to this postseason at some point, which is, is a big if at this point, which sucks. But we got to see guys like Obi Toppin step up, and Josh Hart was a huge acquisition at the deadline. So I like this Knicks team, and I didn't think I was going to. I'm not a big RJ Barrett fan, but I think he'll be pretty decent in the postseason. Yeah, fuck Duke. So I don't know. I think this Randall injury provided experience and depth to this team that really needed to see what they had a little deeper on their bench, because Tibbs, when everybody's healthy, just plays their main guys such heavy minutes. I think they benefit a lot from these last couple weeks without Randall. And I think they pulled this one off in 6.
All right, let's move on to your 2 team series. 76ers taking on the Nets. I'll dive quick, and then I'll let Dolan kind of run through it. I've got Philly in 5 games. The Nets have been Bridges is a dog. The Nets have not been great since the trade deadline. I feel like that's hard because you just lost KD and Kyrie. Like those are big losses. And regardless of what you think about Kyrie Irving, the guy's a good basketball player. And these are 2 big losses for that team. And it's just a different What are you shaking your head for, Dolan?
Yeah, it's because you're such a Kyrie apologist and you don't want to admit it. You love Kyrie, and I fucking know you do. And this is the first time I'm ever bringing it up, and I'm doing it on air. But I know you fucking live and breathe Kyrie Irving's air, but you just don't want to admit it.
It's a big loss. Kyrie Irving's a dog, man. KD is a fucking
I
dog.
bet
It's a
he
big
is.
loss for the
Yeah,
Nets.
sure.
I still have 76ers. Nets are not going to win this. They've got, like I said, they've not been great. But please, I need this. Dylan will back me up here. For everybody listening, if the Nets do pull off the win,
God,
you
please.
need to
I'm
tune
quitting.
in to this podcast because we will be killing your boy at Ryan Props. Hey, tune in on Twitter as well with a Z, because tune in on Twitter as well. It's going to be rough. Dolan, what do you think about this series? I've got Nets. I've got 76ers in 5.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it pretty short. I got Sixers in 5. I think we have. I think we're a really tough draw for the Nets, and they're basically only here because they played half the season with two of the best players in the NBA. I'm not a huge believer in them just yet. Sixers in 5. I think we the Sixers end up getting this done fairly easily.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree. I also have Sixers in 5. So
yeah,
boring that we all agree, but it's just I would literally pay each of you $100 if the Sixers could lose the series. So that would just be amazing. But
yeah, it sounds bad because we're all on the Sixers in the same amount of games, but I can't
say
guys
sweet
listening enough that how badly Michael and Dylan hate the Sixers because of me. So while it's boring that we're all on the same on that one,
this is an honest podcast. We're nothing but honest. If you want honesty, you tune in every single fucking week here. Let's go Celtics Celtics and Hawks. This one's easy, right? Hawks in 4.
Easy. Put the mortgage on it.
I've got Celtics, and I told Dylan this, that we've seen the Celtics give a team one, because of in the past that they've not killed off teams. I still feel like the Celtics will get it in 5 or 6. I like the Celtics in this series. I don't know what the Hawks really are. Hawks are a team that did knock out the 76ers to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. So this is not.
Why are we talking about that like 10 years later?
This is still a team had put out a dud last year, but it is a team that, for the most part, still has a lot of those players there, and they can possibly make a run if they can put it all together. I think Clint Capella is one of the more underrated players in the league. I love Clint Capella. I just don't see it with this Hawks team. Give me Celtics in 5.
Dylan, go ahead, man.
Okay.
No. Go ahead. Your team.
All right, I'll go ahead then. I'm going to go Celtics in 5. I do think Trae Young has magic to do it. I do think that because I like the way the Hawks played. I think they look good. I think it's a bad matchup for the Hawks. I think that the way the Celtics play, they're number 2 in defense, number 2 in offense too, and they're also the number 1 rebounding team in the league too. When I think them beating those are all of the Hawks' strengths too. So I think that minus the defense part, but I think that the Celtics for sure, obviously, win this fairly easily. Wouldn't be surprised if it was a sweep, but I'm not going to be cocky. So I'll give Ice Trae 1 win in Atlanta. Celtics in 5.
Yep, fair enough. I don't disagree too far off. I'm going to go Celtics in 6. I think the Celtics style of play will warrant a few losses along the way in any series that they win or lose. Obviously, if they lose, but even in series that they win, they're so live and die by the 3. And man, if there's a team that I'm going to trust to live by it, it's them. But at the same time, postseason comes, weird things happen, defenses tighten up, pace slows down. I think the Hawks can sneak 2 here for sure. I think Trae Young's just good enough to kind of will them to a win once or twice, and I think the Celtics are just going to be bound to kind of shit the bed from behind the arc once or twice. So I'm going to say Celtics in 6 games.
That brings us over to is this the 3rd annual post-up parlay?
Yes.
Kind of.
All right, third annual post up parlay. Dylan, let's start with you. You're going to kick us off in the first game for Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Bulls and Heat. What's your play, Dylan?
I've got Vukovic over 10.5 boards, snagging them boards.
Snagging them boards. I am going to take the 9:30 tip off of Thunder and T Wolves. I'm going to give me Cat over points at 23 and a half. Dolan
passes over to me. I'm going to grab a bit of a homer pick, but one that I feel very confident in. Joel Embiid over 33.5 points. This is DraftKings, by the way. FanDuel already has him at 34.5. If you go ahead and put our parlay together as we speak, we have Joel over 33.5 minus 110. Karl Anthony Towns over 23.5 minus 115. Nikola Vucevic over 10.5 rebounds minus 120. That parlay on DraftKings will be plus 554. Might change a little bit by the time you post on Twitter, but we'll post on Twitter fairly soon. So shouldn't be, but so much different. But yeah, man. Joel Embiid over 33.5. Karl Anthony Towns over 23.5 points. Nikola Vucevic over 10.5 rebounds. Plus 554 on DraftKings Sportsbook.
If you take it with us, hit it. Send them tickets to us using the hashtag #PostUpParlay. We would greatly appreciate it. Let's move on. I think we have a final segment from our good buddy Dylan of this or that. Dylan, are you ready?
I am ready. Completely forgot about this part.
Dylan gave me the wide eyes.
Yeah.
Dylan gave me the wide eyes. Yeah, it's 11:30 Eastern right now. Dylan and I work in the morning. Dylan works, but I don't know what Dylan's gone.
Right here, man.
He's right here, man.
I'd never leave you. I would never leave you.
All right, Dylan, kick us off, man. This or that. What we got going on, dude?
All righty. I've got a few here. Let's start with, I like this one a lot. Let me think to figure out how to word this. Which MVP years, in your opinion, was better? James Harden or Russell Westbrook?
Damn.
I know Michael's pick already, but
Dylan, go ahead.
Damn, no. You go ahead, man. I need a moment.
I mean, this is a bit of a homer pick for me. Dylan put me in a weird spot. Russell Westbrook averaging a trip dub was fucking awesome. That was the KD fuck you tour. I think they got bounced second round by Denver, hilariously. I could be dead wrong on that. But
I do remember they were the 6th seed that year.
Yeah, they got bounced early in the playoffs, maybe in the first round, but did not turn into playoff success. I'm a big Russell Westbrook fan. What James Harden did, this guy was awesome, played zero defense. Russ did it throughout. Again, averaged a triple-double in a season. I think give me that all day long. And most importantly, imagine being Russ going back to OKC. Like, he can get I mean, James possibly can in Houston a little bit, but not really. That shine's kind of worn off. Russ in OKC, he'd go back right now and never have to pay for another meal.
Fair.
Dylan, I got a feeling that you want to argue this, but don't know.
I really don't. I even as a Sixers fan, I obviously cheer for Harden. I like what he does for our team. Harden's past doesn't really concern me any different than any other player. I'd actually go Russ here as well. He averaged more points, more assists, more rebounds. Yeah, I'm gonna go Russ here. I think he had the better MVP season.
Why do you think he was so weird on the Lakers? Why do you think that? I mean, we're seeing the same exact. This is a player who's never changed. Why was he so terrible?
It seemed like there was never any patience for him, and honestly, I think he had a fine season with the Lakers. You know, it didn't start off that terrific, but I think he ended up having a pretty damn nice season with the Lakers when it was all said and done. I think he was a great six man for them, but I don't know, man. Just the league, weird. The league wants to hate Russ for some reason.
Yeah, and love Brody. Give me
Brody. You put him in the forefront of the most hateful spot, which is the Lakers, between their fans and every fan of the sport that hates the Lakers. I mean, it's the most hateable spot you could be in.
You know who hates Russell Westbrook the most? Colin Cowherd. You ever heard his takes lately?
I try not to listen to him. To
Yeah,
be
that guy's
honest.
an idiot.
Remember when Ben Simmons was supposed to be better than LeBron James? I
Oh,
know
yeah.
everybody's seen that round.
Yeah,
That
that actually
hit the rounds right now.
that hit the rounds this week. Actually, he said, "LeBron, you're good, man. You can go. The league's fine. Shut
the fuck up.
up, dude." That honestly, as far as NBA takes are concerned over the last decade, put a crown on that one for the worst. Or I guess take your crown off, however you want to state it. That's probably the worst one I've seen.
I bet you make a lot of mistakes
pundit.
I bet you make a lot of mistakes going live on air Monday through Friday. I bet it is a tough job, but oh boy, some of these you just don't get to live after,
dude.
And that's one of them. Go on, Dylan. What's the next one?
All right, next one I got. These are two teams that have won championships with the same player. Which one would you have? That makes sense. Who do you think would win if they played? The LeBron James Miami Heat or LeBron James Cleveland Cavaliers?
Wait, I don't understand. What's the question again?
These two teams play each other. LeBron James Cavs, LeBron James Heat. Who wins?
The title winning Cavs team versus either of the title winning Heat teams.
Very similar team, but yeah.
Give me the Cavs team.
Really?
Yeah, give me the Cavs team. Give me LeBron Cavs team. That was peak LeBron doing it himself. Give me that LeBron Cavs team. J.R. Smith knocking down threes. Give me that Cavs team. Mon Shumpert playing defense on LeBron against the Miami LeBron. Give me LeBron on the Cavs.
You don't think LeBron would guard himself?
No, I think LeBron would dominate all over that court, and he would be shut down by Iman Shumpert from the Cavs. Because Iman Shumpert with the Cavs was a fucking dog.
I'm gonna go with the Heat. LeBron. I think LeBron was at the pinnacle of his career with the Heat, with a healthy Dwayne Wade at that time.
Give me Bosh, dude. Love Bosh.
Yeah, and Bosh was such a terrific third man on that team. Yeah, definitely give me Heat. LeBron.
Kevin Love dominates that Chris Bosh.
No.
Also like the Ray Allen aspect on that Heat too. But
yeah.
J.R. Smith over Ray Allen all day long. Go on, Dylan. Give us the next one.
All right. So I feel like since I've been really, really paying attention to basketball, there have been two really random championships that no one really saw coming. Like at the beginning of the season. One of them is the 2011 Mavericks.
Yep.
And the 2019 Raptors. Which team you got?
Ooh, I love this question. This question, except for the fact that I hate this question.
What was the Raptors' road to get to that?
Shut up! No,
what?
No! Shut up!
What?
No, stop acting dumb, dude. Don't
what?
Don't
what?
Do
I don't remember. I genuinely don't remember.
Yeah. So you suddenly made fun of me last week for Kawhi's 7
confetti
bounce.
Game. We love the confetti game, dude.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, suddenly Michael's dumb.
I've known Michael for a long time. He's been dumb the entire time. So
yeah. No, I agree. Don't get me wrong. I full-heartedly agree. But he's playing even dumber than he naturally is, which is just a complete hate job towards me.
You want me to go first, or you want to go first?
Go ahead, you fucking asshole.
I want to say this before I give a true answer, is that I actually really do like that Toronto team and what they did. That was the ultimate buy high, win high moment. I mean, you gave up to get Kawhi. You sell out for a first time coach and Nick Nurse. And it was a perfect storm of everything working out the right way. Everybody wanted to see Kyle Lowry, get one as well. Not before the season, but in that moment when it finally came for him, they were everybody cheering for Kyle Lowry to get one. I think that was the perfect storm. But that Mavs team going against LeBron, D Wade, Bosh, was Mario Chalmers on that team?
I believe so.
Yeah, I believe so as well. that was just such a unbelievable watch. Do you guys remember when remember when Dirk was sick and LeBron and D Wade can't?
I'll never forget.
I'll never forget. I will truly that lives rent free in my head, and I think about that often. They came out making fun of Dirk being sick, and he came out and fucking balled out. That one was the most. This one lives in my heart because that was my first true introduction to basketball, and I fell in love with the Mavericks right after that. I'm not a fan of Dallas, but like that team, I loved watching that because I hated LeBron in Miami so much. Give me that Dallas team, but that Toronto team should not. That's a good question. That Toronto team that was awesome. That was awesome to watch. It was phenomenal. Go ahead, Dolan.
Yeah, I love this question. I think this is a terrific question. I'd be intrigued to hear what more people say about it. I will agree with Michael on this one. That Mavericks team was something else, man. Considering what they went up against. Now, obviously, the Toronto Raptors team against the Warriors at their, they were at their damn peak pretty much at that point. Everybody was pretty young and damn good, and Kawhi probably put together arguably a top 10 postseason run of any single player in NBA history, in my opinion.
Last second winners.
What's that? Oh, no, what's that? Fuck, what's that? I don't care what you just said. Oh my gosh. That what Dallas accomplished to beat that Miami Heat team. This is year one of LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. I mean, it just felt so unbeatable at that time. And Dirk he obviously wasn't alone, but it almost, it kind of felt like it from a talent standpoint. But, looking back, there was definitely some talent on that team with, Jason Terry, who I believe he had the tattoo of them winning before they even won it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So awesome. I'm going to go with the Mavs. Them winning that series will stick with me my whole life. That's probably the most memorable championship of my entire life. Looking back, and I've watched for many seasons now, probably since about the I don't know, maybe 2010 is when I started.
When you started watching basketball.
Watching. This is one of the most significant ones, and this is one I think I'll remember above most of them. So I'm going to go with the Mavs in this situation. But I think this is a terrific question. I'd love to hear what more people have to say about this one.
All right, my last one. I have another one, but that one's like a really long one, so I'm just going to skip that one. So this one is two current players that I think are both in a similar spot right now. They're young players. I think they both have a lot of potential of being good. Whose career, when it's all said and done, ends up being better? Anthony Edwards or LaMelo Ball?
Are they? Is if they're we're going to go off the basis that they're staying where they're at, even though we know in the NBA that doesn't happen. It's hard to sit there and judge where they could go and who they could be paired up with. But at its current talent right now, Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball, I'm gonna go with LaMelo. I think he's got more marketability. And I think he'll be looked at more as the star. Ant might have better numbers throughout and might have bigger highlight plays. I want to say like individual highlight plays, but I think LaMelo as a guy that has that still has a bit of flash, but it has that kind of what generation is way under us? Was this Gen Z?
I think so. Yeah.
And Gen Z kids love this boy LaMelo because of the way he looks and the way he acts. Ant's a bit of a introvert. I'm gonna go. I'm doing a lot of personality stuff here. LaMelo's a dog. LaMelo, he's a possible walking triple double. Possible. I mean, if he puts on some weight, if he takes it more seriously, I think. It's hard to say where their trajectory is based on the current teams they're on, because I think Dolan, you let me know what you think, because I know you're pretty big on Ant-Man. I think he's got to leave to like blow up, because the way that he is in Minnesota and what's around him, I don't know if it's really the space for him to thrive. And the other way, it's LaMelo is the guy in Charlotte. Like that's it everything's based around him. So I'm gonna go with LaMelo.
Okay, I'm going to go in the opposite direction. I'm going to take Ant for pretty much every opposite reason. In fact, I think it's good that Ant isn't like the direct here's the keys to our team. Here's, our success depends on you. And I think it's fair to not ask a 22-year-old of that. I think Ant will benefit from, obviously today we're a little biased. Ant's going to get some postseason. He's going to get a taste of it. And granted, he started his postseason career with a 3 of 17. We'll move on. This will be a blip on the radar. I think he was built for these playoff moments. I'm not going to overreact over one game. I think this will be quite an outlier when his career is all said and done. I think Minnesota's put better pieces around him to get to this point sooner, which obviously has already been kind of proven true. LaMelo is... It seems LaMelo is kind of doing whatever he wants without consequence, and there needs to be consequence. That team was going absolutely nowhere, even if he stayed healthy. That team was dog shit, especially defensively, and he kind of headlined their lack of defensive effort and jacking 14 threes no matter the coverage. I don't know. I'm not sure LaMelo's style will translate into long-term success. Obviously he's got so much time to grow. I don't want to overreact too much about his young career. The guy's 22 or so. He's got the potential's through the roof, but I think Ant is being held to a higher responsibility early, and I think that'll benefit him tremendously. I think the talent around him will benefit him a lot. I'm gonna go Ant. I think his career arc I think he's off to a nice head start already. Obviously he will need to keep continuing down that path, but I don't really like what Charlotte's doing with LaMelo. He's just playing consequenceless basketball. I mean, he can do whatever the hell he wants, but when he was playing, they were going nowhere. And this, I can't repeat enough. This is so early. It's so early in their careers. I'm not saying this is a death sentence on his career. There's so many things that could be changed. There's so many improvements, and I think he has all the potential in the world. But I like where Anthony Edwards' career path is beginning on. I think he will be held to a higher standard than LaMelo, and I think it'll benefit him long term. And
I agree with everything that you've said 100% with Ant. I think and you're spot on with Charlotte. Like you're spot on with the way that they've constructed that roster. I think Bridges was a big loss. I have no fucking idea what's happening with that guy, but I think that was a big loss. I do think it's what I mean by and again, I agree with everything Dolan said. What I mean by LaMelo's got more of a shot to be a bigger star. LaMelo's got his own shoe already. And I think that's because for some reason, these kids, if he keeps going the way he's going, keeps jacking up these threes from deep and keeps talking the shit that he talks, I think that you're going to see a lot of these Gen Z kids hype this guy up. And I do think, regardless of who I'd take in this situation, I don't think the LaMelo Ball hype is going anywhere because of the marketability of this guy. Regardless of if he's a bad team or not. And if he stays on a bad team, I think he's going to be one of those guys that says, get me the fuck out of here.
Fair enough.
Phenomenal show today, fellas.
Had a blast, dude.
Good job.
Phenomenal show.
Please
asking all the people that have listened, all the fans of the show, please get involved. Follow us all on Twitter. We'll plug our personal Twitters in a minute, but at the Post Up Boys, go follow the show. Get involved with everything we've said here. Let us know what you think about these playoff series. Let us know what you think about this or that thing. Do not forget that if you hit this Post Up Parlay, send it over to us. Use the hashtag Post Up Parlay, and please let us know, what do you think about Zion being a complete and total biatch? Dolan, where can the people find you at?
At Ryan Props. Props ends in a Z.
With a Z.
At Ryan Props with a Z on Twitter.
Z for Zion. Dylan, where can the people follow you at?
You can follow me at Dillabond00 with no Z on Twitter.
Please, Celtics fans, follow Dylan. Again, he calls me every day at 5, talks about the Celtics. I don't give a Fuck. You can find me, Michael Willis, at Carefree. Just kidding, Dylan. You know I'm just kidding. You can find me at Carefree Willis on Twitter. Come talk to me about the Pistons and how awesome it's going to be once we get that number 1 overall pick. Just kidding. Conspiracy theory, probably going to go to Dallas. That's going to be fucking disgusting. Or going to go to San Antonio, and they're going to head over to Austin. Regardless, pretty fun time to be a Piston. Come hang out with me over there. Again, follow the show at the Post Up Boys. We'll see everybody next week, right?
Well, Amen. Wouldn't miss it.
Hilariously, Dolan, before the show started, said, "Hey, boys, let's not record a 2.5 hour show."
Yeah,
we are at 1 hour and 53. I said Dolan.
What did I say? I don't remember what I said. What did I say?
I said Dolan said, "Let's not record a 2.5 hour show."
And then what did I say just now?
You didn't. What?
What did I say?
You said that's not what I said.
That's not what I said.
We'll see all of you next week. Goodbye.